Hey there, Elwood City. You're listening to WXCD 107.3 FM in Elwood City. It is time now for the weekly news wrap-up brought to us by elwoodcity.org and our beautiful co-host, Cassie. How are you?
I'm all right. Nikki, how are you this week?
Oh, it has been a crazy week for me. I think that the pull of the moon has made everyone insane this week. I have seen car accidents and crazy road workers who didn't know what to do with their signs, and it's been a crazy day, crazy week for me.
You know what? Actually, there was just a accident on this street.
Really?
I think it was yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Or
right
maybe
here.
it was the day before. Yeah.
Oh, my.
I was walking out of work, actually, and I just saw a whole bunch of cop cars and, like, firemen and paramedics responding to this accident. I think it was at, like, 1:20.
Oh, wow. I was actually up here, and I had no idea that anything was happening outside. Because I was here, yeah.
People said that they could hear it. There was a car coming down Crescent, and apparently she didn't see the truck that was traveling south on 6th, and she pulled out and hit this truck and actually caused the truck to do like a 180-degree spin.
Wow. So right there by the fire station.
Yes, it was right in front of it. It was right in front of it. And luckily no one was hurt, but her car was like literally like totaled in the front.
Well, I just was on my way in today to the station, and I was leaving the Get-Go in Shenango, and I came up Cascade Street, and all these cop cars were flying past me, and I got up and they had the whole road blocked, and it was a car that was flipped over on its side, and they were trying to get people out of the car, and there was somebody else laying on the ground. It was pretty traumatic, and they had the whole entire Cascade Street was blocked off, and we had to go up around. It was pretty scary.
It is scary. Like, I felt really bad even just, like, covering the story of, like, the accident out front here, because it's, like, you can just tell that whoever's involved in it is, like, really, you know, like, scared.
And we live in such a small community that literally, you know, they say in the world you're always just 6 people removed from everyone.
Yeah,
but when you live in a small town, you're maybe 2 people removed from everyone. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So when you see something like that happen, you know that you probably know somebody who knows them.
Yeah.
You know, so you always hope that it's nothing really bad, but you said it didn't look like there were any injuries.
No.
That's good.
The driver of the car was taken to the hospital, but I believe that she was just fine. I think it was just like routine.
She probably shook up, yeah.
Yeah, just routine taking
Unfortunately, you have another story for us where the people weren't quite as lucky. It wasn't a car accident, it was actually a house fire.
Yeah. Apparently, like yesterday, there was a huge fire in a Shenango Township house, and
actually,
originally,
that's right near my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's
like
horrible.
About 1 minute from where I live.
Wow. Did you see the smoke?
I didn't, because I'm a night person, which means at 7:30 in the morning I was sleeping.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, originally I heard that, you know, no one was inside, and then I heard that there might have been 3 people inside, and then I heard that there were 3 disabled guys that were inside that lived in the house, and now I'm hearing something else.
That the original report, and this seems kind of, I don't know, a little bit fishy. There was actually a call in to 911 saying that there were 3 disabled adults in the house, but the report didn't report a fire, but that the second and third and fourth, you know, all these other calls started coming in that there was a raging house fire.
Right.
So I'm wondering who the first call was, just reporting there's 3 disabled adults in the house.
Is that literally all that they said? Was that
there were 3 disabled adults, and they were stuck in the house, and so then all these calls came in that it was a fire. And you know, when you're dealing with something that just happened and it's new and there hasn't been an investigation, literally everything is just allegedly. But allegedly the police suspect foul play, because they said that there were several ignition points where the fire started in several different locations in the house, and that all 3 victims were found in the basement.
So it's almost like they were like locked down there.
Right.
I actually heard this morning that the house was on fire again today.
Well, that happens a lot, because a lot of times you get hot spots that reignite. You know, when the firemen are fighting the fires, sometimes you get a hot spot underneath.
Right.
And it'll reignite. That happens a lot.
Well, actually, like, I saw this post on Facebook that someone said about the fire reigniting. But then someone else commented on it and said that she lived across the street, and after talking to the responding firemen, they said that they think the house was like purposely lit on fire again. Yeah, so I'm
seems
thinking
like someone's trying to cover up some evidence that they don't want seen. Yeah,
exactly.
It seems very suspicious, but that's why we have well-trained investigators. I'm sure that they're going to get to the bottom of it. The saddest thing, the saddest thing was that these 3 men lost their lives.
Right.
The saddest secondary thing is, we had this conversation a few weeks ago about being animal lovers, and there were reports that the firemen heard dogs barking in the house, couldn't find them.
That's really
and
sad.
I was like, aw, that's so sad.
That is really
the whole thing
horrible.
was sad.
Yeah.
I don't know the physical status of the men before the fire. I know that, like I said, there were reports that they were disabled. I don't know if that means physically or mentally, but someone else had commented through social media that one of the men was a pastor, and I'm just, I just really hope that whatever somebody was trying to cover up by starting the fire is revealed. You know what I mean?
I hope so,
I just
too.
hope that the investigators are able to put all the pieces together.
Yeah, hopefully they will, because that's, such a shame that,
Right.
that, someone could do that to other people, and even if it wasn't other people, like starting the fire, just in general, it's just so sad that 3 people lost their lives.
Yeah.
Because of this, you know?
All right. I know a couple of weeks ago we had talked about, this is how we got talking about animals was a couple weeks ago. ElwoodCity.org featured a spay and neuter mobile clinic that's going to be happening. It's coming up pretty soon. I think the 21st or the 22nd.
I actually thought it was the 21st.
Yeah, I think so. But I had asked you when you'd first got here today if I could still find out about it, because I have little kitties. And you said that it's still available. ElwoodCity.org has all that information.
Yeah, all the information's still listed. I think it's probably now on the 3rd or 4th page.
Okay.
But it's definitely still there.
All right. So if anybody out there has is it just cat?
I believe it's just cats,
Okay.
yes.
So if anybody out there has cats that you would like to get spayed or neutered, make sure you go to elwoodcity.org and flip through a couple of pages and find out that information. Hopefully I can find out so I can take my little kitty. What else have we got going on in the news?
Well, actually, the new CVS is scheduled to open on Sunday. And
I was curious when.
Yeah, I did a post about it, and it got a lot of mixed feelings.
Yeah.
Because obviously, as the previous journalist covered it and covered the destruction of the church, and
that was
posted about his feelings, I kind of just reopened that,
right,
and just did a little piece on it. And like I said, it got a lot of differing views. Some people said, just get over it, CVS is there now, and a lot of other people were a lot more sympathetic, like, I grew up here, I went to that church, I have a lot of memories with that church, and I'm really sad to see that it's gone and that there's a new CVS right next to a Rite Aid.
Yeah, I had mixed feelings about it when it first happened. When it first started happening, I had just moved back to Elwood, and at first I was like everybody else. I'm like, oh my gosh, how could they tear down this church? It was it was like a landmark. It's been around forever. And then, once I realized that, the deal was signed, sealed, and done before any of my feelings had ever got on the table, or anybody else for that matter. And a lot of people tried to say that the person who sold it off kind of like took the money and run. But that really wasn't the case. He did move to Florida. But the fact is I know people who know him personally, and he had sunk lots of his own money trying to turn it into something. He wasn't just trying to flip it and get out.
Yeah.
He really did try. And so, after it was already sold and it was done, there was no changing it. And so then my opinion changed over to competition is good. It's good for the consumers. And the reason why is because if you only have one drugstore, they can charge you whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have 2, especially close proximity to each other, then as the consumer, you get the benefit of them trying to outsell each other.
Yeah, you do have a really good point.
If one's running a sale on toilet paper for $3, then the other one will run a sale on toilet paper for $2.
Yeah.
So, competition is good for people.
Yeah, I think it just saddens people to see one of the oldest buildings in Elwood no longer standing. And I understand that too.
Yeah.
obviously I don't live here and I don't have any sentimental value to the church at all. But like I said, I went to England before and I saw all those old buildings, and
I
it's
know.
like that's what makes England and countries like that so amazing, because you go there and there's these,
it's like this vintage structure and all.
crazy old buildings. And so I guess that was kind of my point.
Yeah, that was
with
my,
it.
that's originally, because I'd never even been in the church, but just the whole unique structure of it and the age of it. And
exactly.
It had stained glass windows, and the rock was beautifully cut, and it was a gorgeous structure. It had big, heavy wooden doors, and I admired just the way that it looked aesthetically. And that's why I was like, oh, man, I can't believe they're going to tear it down just for some, conglomerate drugstore.
Exactly, yeah.
But, once the deal was already done, then I just adapted to the idea, I guess.
Exactly. I mean, I guess that's just life, that these things do happen.
Yeah.
But,
change is change. Anything else for our weekly news wrap-up this week?
Yeah, there was another thing which I thought was pretty interesting. In the police reports from last week, actually, I didn't actually cover it until this week, but in the police reports, there was a report about a man stealing over 2,000 kilowatt hours of electric by tapping into a residential meter.
Oh, my.
Yes. And so I talked to Bob Villela, and I asked him, just general questions about it, like how did the electric company know that someone was tapping into this? And he gave me all that information, and it's posted on the site. I won't go too much into it, but overall, I posted this story, and I posted it on the Sudis page, and I was really surprised, but a ton of people were actually supporting this guy. And saying like, well, the electric company steals from us, so I don't necessarily blame him for doing this. And I just thought that was a very interesting response from the community overall.
That is interesting. I don't particularly agree. I mean, stealing is stealing.
Exactly.
And when somebody, especially the gathering together on social media of the Sudis, you're upset about the price you pay for electric, but if you get enough people out there stealing it, your price is going to go higher, and you'll be the one paying for it.
That's exactly what I thought, and that's what I thought people were going to say is like, oh, we're going to have to pay for this because,
think about it. You said he stole, 2,000 kilowatts?
Yeah, it's estimated
well, it costs about 19 cents per kilowatt.
Yeah, right. So I think someone did like the conversion on it. It cost almost $400.
Yeah, $380 is what 2,000 kilowatts is roughly costing.
Yeah.
So, $380, somebody's going to pay for it.
Exactly.
So if I were somebody complaining about my price, I would not support someone stealing.
Yeah, right. So there was that. And one person, I didn't put the man's name in it because obviously it's still under investigation.
Right.
And, as I had said, it's a police report. It's not a criminal complaint. So he wasn't charged yet.
Right.
Someone commented and said that they wanted to know why the name wasn't posted, and just for anyone that's listening to this, the reason his name was not posted is simply because if he's not charged, his name is going to remain anonymous.
Right.
Just if anyone's wondering.
Yeah, I know that there has to be formal charges before you can even legally give someone's name.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like we're trying to conspire and hide this guy's name. It's not that at all. It's just he hasn't been charged yet.
Okay. All right. So how about anything else for elwoodcity.org this week?
I did want to bring up that the Hard to Recycle event is coming up on September 24th at the Lawrence County Fairgrounds, where people can take their appliances, batteries, electronics, fluorescent lights, household hazardous waste, shoes, tires, things of that nature.
Okay. Things that are hard to get rid of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there is a fee per thing that you take, and for electronics and I believe it was household hazardous waste, you have to register the item before you go. Okay. But all that information and the official flyer is on our website, so that's totally viewable. And I totally need to do that myself because I have plenty of things, and I know my family has tires that it's like, what do we do with these? Because we don't know where to put
tires,
them.
paint cans, batteries, spray paint cans, all that stuff's hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
So that's good. And that'll be at the Lawrence County Fairgrounds when?
On September 24th.
And people have to pre-register or only if it's hazardous?
Only if it's electronics or hazardous waste.
Oh, okay.
So, other than that, though, you can just take your stuff. But like I said, the official flyer is on our website, and I definitely recommend people viewing that because it has the price of everything listed. You know, obviously you need to know that before you take your stuff.
Okay, awesome. Anything else for us this week?
Nope, I think we're all good.
All right, so that's a wrap. That was the weekly news wrap-up here on WXCD, brought to us by elwoodcity.org. Thank you, Cassie, for being here. We'll see you next week.
See you, Nikki.